quit hiring people that have the greatest potential for your organization. There, I said it. What? What are you talking about? Don't we want to hire people that have the greatest potential? Here's the thing. The way that we hire for the greatest potential is that we hire people with the greatest skills, knowledge, and abilities because they do have the greatest potential, right? If they apply themselves, if they get fully engaged, if they stick around, they are going to have the greatest potential impact on our organization. But the reality is that's not what determines productivity, engagement, and retention. I studied the data on 150,000 global employees, and I'm here to tell you that somebody's skills, knowledge, and abilities entering the organization have no statistically significant correlation to their actual productivity, engagement, and retention. And what does that mean in summary? It means if we hire people the way we continue to hire people based on their resume, based on their experience, that we are going to continue to struggle with productivity, engagement, and retention. Right now, the average U.S. office worker is productive 31% of the day. 36% of people are considered engaged in their jobs, and 25% of people voluntarily leave their jobs every year. That's what we get when we hire for potential. Now, there's another way that we can do this. We can start hiring for people that are going to make the greatest actual contribution. But we have to change how we approach things. Because what I have found from the data is that what drives productivity, engagement, and retention is alignment and connection. It's alignment with the vision and the values of the organization. It's connection with the mission, feeling like they're part of something bigger than themselves. And it's connection with each other, feeling like they are part of a mutually beneficial, mutually caring community. And people that feel that way are productive, engaged, and stick around longer. And there's some organizations that have figured this out. Patagonia has like a 96% engagement score and like 4% total turnover. Teach for America is like 97% engagement. What are they doing different? They're hiring based on alignment with their vision and their values, with their mission, with their vision. That's what they're hiring for, trusting that people that are passionate about their vision, people that have the same value structure, they're going to acquire the skills they need to do the job. And the end result is they are going to have a far greater actual contribution. Now, maybe they don't have the same potential going into the organization as somebody with all the skills, knowledge, and abilities, but if that person doesn't apply themselves, how great is it anyway? It's like basketball. You can hire the world's most talented player, but if they're not engaged, if they're not applying themselves, if they don't stick around, what contribution did they actually make to the franchise? Versus somebody who's hungry, somebody who loves the system, somebody who loves the structure, somebody who just loves playing the game, somebody who's going to show up and practice and give it their all. They don't have the greatest potential, but they make the greatest actual contribution. That's what we're talking about. You could bring somebody out here that has the longest throwing arm ever, the greatest potential for reaching this basket in two or maybe even one. But if they don't try their hardest, if they don't give it their all, if they're not really engaged, it's not going to happen. Versus somebody like me who's hungry to make a par. Like, I would love to make a par 4 on this hole, and I'm going to do whatever I can. I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to apply myself, and I'm going to do everything I can to make it happen. Right? That's the kind of people that we want out here on the course with us. So this hole made me think of that. So let's see. This is a challenging hole because, in part, now the wind is blowing, and it's a long hole. So let's just do our best. We're playing it for a par 4. I can't even really get close in 2, so I'm going to really just try to hit the fairways, hit the fairway 1, hit the fairway 2, do an approach shot and tap it in. That's the goal. Wish me luck. Well, I went pretty close to down the middle. That's fine. I'd rather be left than right, but I really didn't get all of it. So this is going to be a long road to hoe to try to make a par 4 on this thing, but we'll just keep matriculating our way down the field and see what happens. So we still got quite a ways to go. But we got a little bit lucky here that it looks like we're in one of the walkways that cut out, so that gives me a little bit better footing. It's still kind of treacherous, so it's kind of hard to run up like I like. But hopefully the goal here is to get it just somewhere between those 2 trees in the opening so that I have a clean look for my third shot. All right, I think that should do fine. I'm still further out than I want to be, but I've got the angle, I've got the clean look. So we'll see how we can finish this par 4 off. Have you thought a little bit more about what I was talking about with potential? I was researching Patagonia, researching Teach for America, trying to find out what do they do different? Why do they have such high engagement? Why do they have such low turnover? And a group like Patagonia is so interesting. Like they are so, sorry, it's really bumpy here. They are so on point with their vision and with their mission that they actually kind of put it in your face a little bit when they're hiring. Like if you don't align up with their values and vision, you'll know it. Like you will absolutely know it. And it's not about them. See, here's where I am right here. Oh yeah, that'll do. And then we got to get through the trees or the basket. But it's not even about putting it in your face. It's not about them proving that they're better than you or anything like that. It's about being super clear in their vision and value so that you know you self-select out. If you're like, oh no, I don't really care about the environment, well then you're not going to want to be part of Patagonia because it's so in your face. And so that way they make sure that the people that are working for them are truly aligned with their vision and with their mission, and they can build community around it. And so that's such a critical part of this thing. It was so interesting in my study. I was looking for those factors that drive productivity, engagement, and retention. Like why are some people more productive, engaged, and stick around longer than others? And the data proved it was not the skills, knowledge, and abilities entering the organization. We already talked about that. It also proved it's not pay, it's not benefits, it's not bonuses, it's not recognition, it's not credibility. None of those things impact productivity, engagement, and retention. And we think to ourselves, but those are the things that people keep saying they want. They want more pay. They want more and more and more and more and more. And the reality is we do. We all want more of that stuff. We want more pay and better benefits and bigger bonuses and more recognition and greater flexibility. We want all of that stuff. But the reality is when we get them, it doesn't actually change our behavior. It doesn't change how productive, engaged, and how long we stick around. It just doesn't. That's what the data says. And so the key is, how do we actually hire? How do we onboard? How do we manage to create the greatest actual contribution rather than focusing on who's got the greatest potential, who's got the best resume, who went to the best school, and then throwing money and throwing flexibility and throwing recognition and throwing benefits at the problem. It's a new paradigm. It's a new way to think about things. And as a leader, we take this into our organization and it can radically change and improve the impact and the teams that you have. They become more productive. The culture improves. Everything improves. And it's the same sort of thing when we think about our personal lives. Who are those people that are the greatest, that are most aligned with who we are, with our vision and our mission for our life? It comes back to knowing what that vision and mission even are. But get the people around you that are aligned with that vision and with that mission, who are going to support you, who are going to encourage you. I call this getting the right peeps in our Jeep. See, it's not just about organizations. It's about our personal lives. These truths are truths everywhere. If we start trying to attract people based on our skills and their level of influence and money and all those things, we're going to get people for the short term, but they're not going to be the people that are really going to be the peeps that we need in our Jeeps. In our life, in our relationship, in our friendships, in our community groups, in our volunteer organizations, in our hobbies, or in our careers. So look for the folks that are aligned and connected. And for you too, only plug into organizations and to groups and with people that you are aligned with and you feel connected to, or you're going to start going down the road again to being unhappy. Let's see if we can finish off this here, see if we can somehow steal a par 4 out of this thing. Well, let's see. I don't think we got as close as we wanted to get to here. It's gonna be kind of a tricky putt for a par. I like the drop-in putts. My buddy Jeff knows that. All right, so we left ourselves with about, oh boy, a good 20 plus feet. Let's see if we can knock this home, save us a par.